Today I'll be wearing the machine helmet for my run. Thank you very much. Do you hear that? What is that sound? Oh, you don't hear anything because it's the sound of nothing. It's the sound of nothing. That means my motor is working fine. You know when you first have a board and you just want it to stay new forever without having to take anything apart or changing anything, because my luck, you don't, the board does not go back the same it doesn't ride the same when you take it apart or tinker with it. Feels like you put your whammy on it. Now, it's not so much of a bad day in Zamunda. Finally got my booster board's motor replaced, and now I'm just going for a nice test run. You know, like I said before, I'm no electric skateboard expert, but I like to tinker with things. And this booster board failing on me, the motor at least, in 200 miles in, was an experience. The reason why it was an experience is because I never really messed around with electric skateboards on that level, taking it apart, tinkering it with it. So when Boosted finally sent me the motor, it took about a week. And when I finally got the motor and I replaced it, usually I would do a chest mount video and show you while I'm doing it. But if you listen to my last video that I uploaded, my throat that was the beginning stages of my throat. I was hoarse for about a week. So I was kind of out of it for an entire week. So I couldn't do any videos. So I replaced the motor, and that was not as hard as I thought it was going to be honest with you. I really thought that replacing a motor was going to be real difficult. But I followed the steps that Boosty sent me in the link to the YouTube video. At first I was a little scared because I didn't want to lose any of the parts. So that's why I put the parts separately. At least I know where I can find them. And when I swapped out, everything was okay until I had to put the belt back on and put the tires back on. So the booster board was making the grinding noise every day. It was getting worse and worse and worse. And after a while, I couldn't take it. So I called Boosted. They told me that the board was still under warranty, that I actually had 6 months. I don't even know why in my head I thought I had 30 days or 60 days, but have 6 months. So they said you can ride carefree. Well, not carefree, but without having to worry about anything going wrong. And they were right. So the only thing that they required me to do is, once I replace the motor, send it back. As you can hear now, you don't hear that loud grinding noise, which I say is a blessing, because I don't mind the noise, but after a while when you're riding at night, it makes a lot of noise and people can hear you. And it sounds like the motor's gonna fall out the socket too. So that didn't make me comfortable. One of the most difficult parts that I had putting the motor on is not even the motor. It was the wheel. Putting the wheel and the belt back on correctly and making sure that it has the correct amount of gap and a little bit of tightness in between it without overdoing it or underdoing it. At first when I put the belt on, it was giving me a hard time. The belt is rubber, but it's not a stretchable rubber. So that means that you just can't pull it over the pulley of the wheels. So one of my issues is that I had to put the belt over the motor and then mount it back correctly without leaving room. So that was the only thing. But after I got over that, it was okay. Everything went back together. Took it out for the first time. And then when I took it out for the first time, I noticed that one side was kind of kicking out more than the other. I thought it was the motor just being stronger than the other motor, but it wasn't the case. I think I put the motor mount a little too loose and it kind of shifted. So went back up, put the motor mount, screwed everything in properly, centered it again, made sure it matched the other motor. And then I tightened it up, not too much, but I tightened it enough where it won't come loose. And I went out for a while and it was okay. I did notice that because I had to loosen the back trucks to take off the motor, not too much, but I had to loosen it a good amount so I can have some wiggle room, is that when I retightened the back trucks, I noticed I was getting a little speed wobble. So that's one of the only problems is that if you're a rider, e-rider, and you have your board's truck or settings adjusted to the way you ride and your weight, one little slight turn of the trucks or tightening the trucks or loosening the trucks, it will cause the entire dynamics of the board to shift. So I was a little nervous. So I had to get back into that sweet Goldilocks spot where I had to not too tight but not too loose. So right now is where I want it. I didn't want to make this video too long. So after I put the motor back on, everything was successful. I said, let me take this bad boy out for a ride. So here I am, scooting down the West Side Highway around Chelsea Pier area, and then I wasn't really paying attention to one of those pillars over there, and bam, I crashed my GoPro right into one of the pillars, and the pillar broke the GoPro lens. But I discovered one thing about the GoPro that I didn't know because I never owned a GoPro before until now, is that little lens on the front of it is really a protective cover. So I didn't actually break the lens, I actually cracked the protective cover. So once I went on Amazon and I found a replacement cover so I can get a replacement cover for that. So that was pretty much it. But the GoPro still works. I'm recording with it right now with the cracked cover. From my perspective, it has a crack going down the lens, but for some strange reason, the GoPro isn't picking that lens crack up at all. So I'm grateful until I get my replacement lens protector. So that was pretty much it. I just wanted you guys to know that the boosted board, the motor's working perfectly fine now. I'm grateful for it. I could not get a chance to talk to you guys because my throat was hoarse for about a week. So that's why you see in the cutaways is that you just see me doing the work. I would usually want to talk to you guys live while I'm doing it, but man, I couldn't talk at all. So that's why you guys saw me go MIA for about a week and a half. But I'm back and, you know, late to the game, but Happy New Year. So anyway, it's getting dark and it's freezing out here. My name is Michael Hurdle from the Michael Hurdle Production Studio. Follow me on Instagram at skatewithmike, and you can always go to michaelhurdle.com and you'll find out some more information about me. But until then, I'll talk to you guys the next time I do a video.